Hello, it's Ruby, and today I'm going to be talking you through how to make a really organised, really efficient university packing list. And our neighbour is using a cherry picker at the moment. I'm not sure what for, but that is what that really annoying grumbling sound is. So today's video, very excitingly, is actually sponsored by Primark. Primark has just brought out a new back to college range in their homeware section, which includes bedding, organisation, nice decorations that you can put up in your university room, and the range is based around a very sleek, very modern charcoal and grey colour scheme. So the first thing I recommend is getting started with your university packing list as soon as possible. Just because I feel as though the more time you have, the less likely it is that you are going to forget something. Because in that time period, you are going to use things that you think, oh gosh, that's actually something which I should bring to university with me. When you keep a list for a prolonged time, it always is just more in depth. I decided to make a booklet to do my university packing list, and this means that it's something that I can keep for a long time, so it's not just a single list, and then I can use this when I'm packing for the year after. I will leave a link to the tutorial where I found how to make these little booklets, because they are really handy. I actually made a first aid booklet using the same format. So as you can see, it just says university packing list on the front, and then I've got some headings. That leads me on to my second tip, which is to separate things into different headings. Don't just keep a single list which says things to pack for university and then just list everything, because you are more likely to leave something out. If you use headings, then it's easier to actually categorise it. It makes it easier to pack when you're actually packing, because you can put all of your toiletries in one place, all of your clothes in one place, all of your kitchenware in one place. And having that clarity means that it's just going to be more efficient, more effective when you actually get around to packing. So I'm just going to run you through the headings that I have used. So I've got toiletries, stationery of course, I've got cooking, decorations, miscellaneous, practicality, and then on the last page I have got clothing. When you've got those headings, you want to just put all of your ideas down onto paper. So this doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to bring everything, so maybe for your first list you might want to do it in pencil. I actually just made a few notes on the computer so that it was quicker and it was easier to get rid of it. So really just think about everything that you use on a daily basis. So with toiletries especially, this is quite a good way to go about it. So think about your skincare routine, think about what you use when you go in the shower, and when you start to think about all of this, you realise just how much you actually use on a daily basis. You don't want to bring too much to university, I completely understand that, and you shouldn't. You should try to keep it to a bare minimum. But at the same time, do not feel daunted if your toiletries list looks something like my one does. These are things that I use pretty much every day. So write all of these things, the actual products, down in your list. When you've done this, you might want to go through and cut a few things out if you don't think you actually do need to bring it. And the reason that I say to do it in advance is because sometimes something will come up that you don't use very regularly, but at the same time it's something that is quite necessary to have. So for example, I've put down Savlon on here, because Savlon is something that I don't use every day of course, but when I do have a nasty bruise or something, I definitely am glad that I've got it. You're going to see that some things do come up that you don't use every day but that you do sometimes use. Another tip that I have is to watch videos on YouTube or look at lists online for things that other people bring to university, and also things that they realise they do not have to bring. Watching these is definitely really useful when coming up with your list. So the next thing I'm going to talk to you about is clothes. When making your university packing list for clothes, you want to remember that these are the clothes that you are going to be wearing for the whole of the term. So you need to think ahead, especially if you're not going to be going home at any point during that term. You want to make sure that you bring things, yes, for the warm weather in September, but also for the freezing cold in December. So really think about this when you are writing your packing list. Similarly though, if you know that either you're going to be visiting home or somebody is going to come down and visit you from home, then don't bring things that you don't massively need. For example, in October my parents and sister are coming down to Devon and they're going to come up and see me at Exeter. So I'm not going to bring my massive ski jacket with me when I go to university in September, but I am going to ask them to bring it with them when they come to visit me, because I do not need a massive coat in September and October, but I might need it in December. Another thing really to be wary of is the climate that you are going to be living in. So if you're really far north, make sure to pack things which are going to keep you warm. So I actually separate my summer and my winter wardrobe, and then if it's a particularly cold day on a summer day, I can go and wear some of my winter clothes. But you don't have this option when you're at university, so you need to make sure that you cater for all types of weather that could come up. Another thing which I recommend, again in terms of categories with your clothing, is separating your clothing into categories. So I'm just going to quickly tell you the categories that I've got for clothing. So I've just done tops, jumpers, bottoms, dresses, shoes and miscellaneous. So actually with this list, yes, it's good in terms of packing, but also when you're there it's quite good because I'm anticipating that I'm just going to be able to look at this and decide what I'm going to wear from this. So it's a good inventory, and also make sure that you don't forget anything and that you don't lose anything because it's all here on your list. What I am doing with clothing is writing very specifically the clothing items that I want to bring. So for example, I've put, I want to bring my owl shirt and my light apparel t-shirt. So what I recommend doing with clothing is keeping an ongoing list. So sometimes you might wear something and think, oh, well actually this is something I really want to bring to university with me. It's something that's really comfortable. It's something that I think I could wear with lots of different outfits. And then you can just write this down on your list and write it very specifically so that you don't forget which specific item you were talking about. But similarly, go through your wardrobe and actually look at the different items and think, oh, actually I want to bring this with me, I want to bring this with me. Just go through your wardrobe, go through your room. I'm going to actually read you the miscellaneous items that I've got here because they are quite miscellaneous, they are quite random. So I've put down my Hollister blazer, which I've had for 7 years now. Definitely on its last legs, but I love this blazer so much. My floral tie, my white hat, my beret, my rain hat, my blue coat, my rain mac, my swimsuit, my velvet scrunchie, underwear, vests, cycling shorts, flannel pyjamas, normal pyjamas, bed jacket, socks, tights, scarf and gloves. Another thing that I'm keeping in mind ready for university is that the more clothes I bring, the less washing I'm going to have to do, and the less clothes I bring, the more washing I'm going to have to do. I'm not saying pack your whole wardrobe because that would be obscene. I think you have to stay quite minimalist. That's what I'm trying to do, but I am bringing about 20 tops with me, and having 20 tops means that I hopefully will only have to do washing maybe once every 2 or 3 weeks. The next thing that I want to talk to you about, and this is actually my last point, is decoration. This university room is going to be your home for about 7 months, which is a really long time. You want to make sure that it's somewhere that you actually want to be. You want to make sure that when you come home from a lecture, you really love the space that you are working in, you love the space that you are living in. And so I think that decoration and making it feel homely is really, really important. So I do recommend that you think about a colour scheme or a theme for your bedroom, and then when you're buying different items like cushions and bedding, you can make sure that it all goes together so that it's more tasteful and it's just a nicer environment to be in. And Primark's new Back to College range has basically done this for us. The whole range is built upon grey and charcoal colours with some copper as well, so little copper embellishments. All of the colours in the new Primark Back to College range really do go together really well. The people who actually came up with this range wanted for that to be the case, and you can definitely see that when you look at the range in full. And the range also has some marble undertones as well, so different things with marble prints. So this is an example of one of the marble prints. So it's actually wood, but there's a marble print over the top, and this just looks so lovely. I really like it. Here's an example of one of the copper decorations. I love copper. I think copper just looks so pretty. This range really aims to make your university room as efficient, as clean, as easy to organise as possible. So the colour scheme is fairly simple, it's quite muted, it's earthy, which means that your university room isn't going to feel as cluttered. And of course, one of our favourite things about Primark is that everything is just so affordable. So this, for example, was only £5 and it's so lovely, really good quality because it's wood. And this was only £8, and again, it's really, really good quality. This is the kind of thing that you would expect to find in Urban Outfitters or something, but a fifth of the price. So what I would recommend when you're writing your university packing list is to really think about how you want your university room to look. You want to think about the colour scheme that you're going to be going for, and you want to plan this ahead of time, because when you get there, you want to almost just be able to put everything in there and know that it's all going to go together. So I'm actually going to use some of the Primark range to redo my bed to see how it would look if this were my university room. So I'm really excited to do this now actually, so let's get started. I'm just going over to Primark to check out the new Back to College range. It's over there, can you see it?
Oh, there.
So we have just come into Primark and we are going to go and look for the Back to College range.
Hi, are you a citizen of the world? Then you need to go to Primark. They've got all your good stuff.
So here we have the duvet cover set, which I am going to be putting on my bed right now. So as you can see, it's just this really lovely stripe. However, I'm talking about decorations, but do not go overboard on decorations, because that's one thing that I would be nervous about and quite apprehensive of, because you don't want to get there and then just have clutter everywhere. I think it's nice to have maybe 1 or 2 nice decorations like this, which you can put on your slides, but don't go over the top on it, because otherwise your room is going to be cluttered and it's not going to be as sleek and efficient as you want for it to be. Another thing to keep in mind when you're writing your packing list is to make sure to pack containers, and I really love the baskets that Primark is currently selling. So I got this one for £5. In these clips I am just trying them out and putting in a range of different essentials. So this one is stationery. This one is sleeping essentials. And this one is toiletries. I think baskets and containers are just so useful because you can group things together really easily. So again, another massive thank you to Primark for sponsoring this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it, and I wish you the very best of luck for results day, which, as I'm filming this, is a week away, and I am completely terrified. I expect that you are too if you are awaiting A-level results, which I assume you are since you're watching this video. Thank you again for watching, and have a productive week.